no nii, no tere. Et see näitas veidikene, mis toimus eile Suurbritannias. Ja seetõttu näitame midagi.
If they speak out, from Donald Trump to Steve Bannon to Geert Wilders to Marie Le Pen to Katie Hopkins, that's what's happening. My job as a journalist, I stand for freedom of speech, I stand for freedom of the press, and I failed because 3 years ago when I lost a court case in here and they bankrupted me to the tune of £1.6 million on a documentary, you're going to see the entire story was a lie. Okay, I failed because I should have come out of court and I should have played you that film. Why didn't I play you that film? Because I was given a gagging order by this building, by this judge. I was silenced and I allowed them to silence me because I was scared. I was scared of 2 years in prison. I was scared of the effect that solitary confinement for that length of time would have on me. I was scared of jihadi gangs in jail. And I was scared of the effect it would have on my family. I failed me and I failed you. I'm not going to fail myself again. You're now going to watch the best citizen journalism and the most incredible expose of the establishment you've ever seen. The news is how we find out what's happening in the world. It's how we form our opinions. Opinions based on facts. That's the key. Facts. Facts should be delivered to you by journalists based on the truth. But what if what they're delivering you isn't the truth? What if it's stories that are manipulated to make you think a certain way, to follow a certain narrative, different people's agendas? And what do they do to those who go against that mainstream narrative, those who try to expose the truth? This is a documentary about the lengths they will go to shut down and silence anyone from bringing you, the British public, the truth.
I lost my job over this.
Non-disclosure agreement.
He's a nasty little piece of shit.
Swung the hockey stick over his head and hit me in the spine with it.
Well, it's so baby.
This kid was out unconscious already. That's just malicious.
I'm not standing, you're not going, no, because what you're doing, I know what you're doing.
Tommy, I am going to mince your kids, mate.
This is a documentary about the unholy alliance between the media, the justice system, and our politicians. How they conspire to suppress free speech, how they pervert democracy, and how the truth and your freedoms are just two of the casualties. We will show how the mainstream media deceives people, how they ignore the truth, how the lies of the virtue signalling BBC, ITV, and Channel 4 are all about their poisonous agenda, no matter the cost to innocent people. It's also a documentary about how an everyday playground incident between two young lads was spun into global news at a terrible cost to so many people, not least the two young lads themselves. We will show how the law is being abused, how people driven by hateful ideologies attempt to intimidate and silence anyone who dares to challenge the so-called progressive, so-called liberal narrative. We will show the foolishness of our fear-driven political leaders who jumped on a story, took a side without knowing the truth, or worse still, knowing it but hiding it, because the truth didn't fit their narrative, regardless of the human cost. And we'll ask three important questions. Firstly, is the media accountable to anyone in any way for what they report? Years after the Leveson inquiry, has anything changed, or do they continue to act with impunity? Secondly, is our legal system still fit for purpose? We will show how lawyers who hate Britain but love jihadi warriors have weaponized the law system against us, and how the legal system really only works for the rich. And finally, how do we keep our politicians accountable? If the police, the courts, and the state can silence anyone for speaking inconvenient truths, truths that may raise questions about government policy, is the UK any different from China, Russia, or Iran in their treatment of dissidents? And of course, for Piers Morgan, for Jeremy Vine, for the BBC, ITV, and Channel 4, it's a tutorial on journalism. Keep watching it, you'll learn a lot. Our story appears to start and end in a brief playground incident at Almondbury Community School in Huddersfield. A playground scuffle. One boy poured a bottle of water on.
Nii, ülejäänud filmi saate vaadata sealt aadressilt. Panen siia kommentaaridesse seda. Loodame, et YouTube seda lubab, sest YouTube'i jaoks on Tommy Robinson väga toksiline isik. Nii. Vaatame siis veel juhtus. Mis veel juhtus siis? Nii, vaatame.
Stick your fucking Islam up your ass! Stick your fucking Islam up your ass! Stick your fucking Islam up your ass! Stick your fucking Islam! Stick your fucking Islam! Stick your fucking Islam up your ass!
Nii. Põhimõtteliselt oli seal palju kõnesid ka. Võtaks näidata mõnda kõnet siit. Siit näiteks mõned pildid. Rahvuslased. Vaatame näiteks kontrastiks siia neid, kes protesteerisid siis Tommy Robinsoni vastu. Mis me siit liigame siis? Siremi ja Kurban oli. Nüüd on see, ma isegi liia neid. Aga põhimõtteliselt siis vastaspoolel oli selline hädine üritus. Mul on näha siin kommunistid rahvuslaste vastu. Nii, sotsialistlik tööline ütleb, põgenikud on teretulnud. Mis ta siin ütleb selle kohta? Põhimõtteliselt ütlevad, et purustage rahvuslased igal võimalikul moel. Seal taga mingi silt must vabastus ja vabastage Palestiina ja nii edasi, sellised nonsensid. Nii. Aha, ja siis kommunistliku töölise sildid siis on sellised, et põgenikud on teretulnud, avage piirid ja mitte mingisuguseid siis väljasaatmisi. Põhimõtteliselt tahavad hävitada Suurbritannia. Kuigi võib-olla neil mõtlevad, et teevad head, aga tulemus oleks selline. Nii, siis vaataks ühe kõne ka siit ära. Okei. Okei, teen ainult siis seda.
I feel the Brits.
Next speaker is Cole Benjamin. Cole, come on from Local Singers.
This is just the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. Give yourselves a round of applause. This is incredible. I feel that Britain is an occupied country at this point. I feel that the British people are being deeply exploited, and I feel that this has to change. Because if it doesn't change, what does the future look like for us? Mass immigration has been a colossal failure. There's no question of it. Only the most ludicrous person in the world could deny it at this point. So I'm talking to you, Keir Starmer. There is no economic argument for it. It's making us poorer by the day, because we are extending to foreign peoples benefits that are meant for us. The British taxpayer is paying for health and services and trains and bloody houses for every person under the sun who can just step foot on our soil. This is not acceptable. The only people who should have access to these things are those people who are born and bred here or have rendered some significant service. It doesn't even bear any thinking about. This is just common sense. And moreover, we've allowed things to get wildly out of hand. As we've seen in the last week, in Leeds, in Manchester, things are not going as they ought. And we will hear countless platitudes about British values. I find this fascinating, and I think we should talk about it for a moment, because they talk about British values as if they descend from the heavens themselves, as if they are something magical that is accessible to almost anyone, anywhere, at any time. But this is not true. Values are held by people. Values are not separate to people. So if you want the spread of British values, then you need to promote the welfare of British people. They do not hold British values in France. They do not hold British values in Germany or Ireland or the Netherlands. Well, maybe in Ireland. In the Netherlands, in Italy, in Africa, in Asia, in South America. These values are parochial to us. And if you want someone to come in to our tribe, to join our way of life, to adopt these values that were learned through millennia of living together, millennia of experience that accumulates, then those people have to live in close proximity to us. They have to live with us and among us to understand who we are, what it is we believe, because there isn't actually a doctrine of them. They're a lived way of life. And if there's one thing we can see at the moment through the colonies that have sprung up on our soil, it's that these values are not being proliferated into these new communities because there are no British people around them from which they can learn them. This can't go on. The question that is raised, and this is a difficult question for our political class to answer, but I know you all can answer it. To whom does Britain, to whom does England, to whom does Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland actually belong? To the political class who are intrinsically liberal, they don't have an answer because they don't recognize your existence as a group, as a people. They will have to say, well, England belongs to nobody, or England belongs to anybody. And thus they have, in one sentence, dispossessed you of 1,000 years of ancestral inheritance. They have taken away from you the most precious thing that you own. And they have declared that not only is it not yours, it's for anyone else. This is a project of colonialism. To say that England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland belong to foreign peoples, but not to their own native peoples. And it's not surprising then that you are footing the bill for this, because you have no right. They've just dispossessed you of your right, but you still live here, and so you still have to pay for it. You are the underclass that they seek to create. This cannot go on. A normal person, of course, says that Britain belongs to the British. England belongs to the English, Wales to the Welsh, Scotland to the Scots, Northern Ireland to the Northern Irish. Nobody else would question this because it's nonsensical. But these are the times in which we live. And so, until it is understood by our political class that this country belongs to us, nothing can get better. Until we can affirmatively say, no, this, as Lawrence said, is our home. And if we choose to extend the privilege of sharing that with other people who come to live with us because they like us, because they are our friends, and you can see many of them here, then that's something we choose to do. They don't have a right, but they may have the privilege. So what must we demand of the politicians? We must demand an end to the exploitation of the British. How dare you do this to us? How dare you? And expect our vote, as if we are your cattle, as if we owe you something. We must demand that the public services are only available to people of British nationality. Foreign peoples must not be allowed to access them. Foreign people must not be allowed our benefits. the National Health Service is a very good idea. I like having a national health service. I don't like having an international health service. That wasn't on the table. We never agreed to that. Foreign people must pay to use the NHS. Moreover, has anyone ever heard of a foreign person being arrested for committing a hate crime against the British person? How dare they have laws on the books that disadvantage us at the expense for the benefit of the foreign people they bring here? How dare they? Unbelievable. And so, to fix this, to prevent the dispossession of the British people from their own land, we must stop the inflow of immigration. That just has to be the way forward. No more. Those people who have come from abroad and are on benefits should just be sent home. We do not need them here. They have homes to go to. Well, this is our only home. We don't need them here. And finally, just to end, I hope you're listening to us, Nigel Farage, because we are your constituency. No man is an island. You can't do this all yourselves. And I have no idea how many people are here. It's tens of thousands. If this isn't a political movement, I don't know what is. Thank you very much.
No nii. Tuleks siis Eesti uudised ka natukene. Nii. Martin Helme räägib siis, kirjutab sotsiaalmeedias. Ma ei soovinud täna osaleda Riigikogu istungil, kus vannutati ametisse uus valitsus, jättes kõrvale asjaolu, et tegemist on nagunii kõigi maksutõusude ja kärpeplaanidega Eesti inimesi veel vaesemaks tegeva valitsusega. Ei soovinud ma istuda ja vaadata, kuidas meile pidulikult valet vanutakse. Kaja Kallase jätkuvalitsus jätkab Kristen Michali juhtimisel veel üht Kallase ajal kinnistunud traditsiooni, kiites ennast tublideks Eesti kaitsjateks ja süüdistades kõiki teisi putinismis ning Kremli huvide teenimises, on tegelikult Reformierakond koos valitsuspartneritega kõige labasemad ja avalikud Kremli huvide esindajad Eestis. Vladimir Svet, kes silmapilgu eest oli veel Keskerakonnas, aga ministri ameti eest vahetas partei sotsiaaldemokraatide vastu, on avalikult putinist. Lisaks sellele, et ta ei suuda välja öelda, kelle oma on Krimm, kaitses ta kunagi pronkssõdurit. Sveti maailmavaate kohta päriseme aru parlamendilt peaministri volitusi taotlema tulnud Michalilt. Vastused olid umbes sama sisukad ja sirged nagu Kaja Kallasel start logistiku teemal. Michal probleemi Svetiga ei näe ja ta võib ministriks hakata. Mäletate, millise raevuga tuli meedia kallale äsja ametisse astunud Marti Kuusikule, mille põhjuseks oli välja mõeldud teema. Mäletate, millise innuga kangutati Mart Helmet väga ettenägeliku NATO plaan B jutu pärast. Mäletate, kui põhimõtteliselt võeti meedia abiga rajalt maha Mihhail Korb tema NATO teemalise sõnavõtu eest. Sveti ütlused on võrreldes osutatutega täiesti teises kategoorias, hulga hullemad. Tegemist on sõna otseses mõttes Eesti riigi vaenlaniku ja Kremli-meelse inimesega. Sotsid ostsid ta Tallinna volikogus võimu kinnitamiseks ministri koha eest üles. Michal kiitis seda heaks ja Alar Karis kinnitas ära. Ma ei ole nõus kuulama, kuidas säherdused inimesed irvitavad meie üle ja annavad Riigikogu puldist nähtamatult, ja annavad Riigikogu puldist nähtavalt valelikku vande jääda truuks Eesti põhiseaduslikule korrale. Eesti põhiseaduse preambul näeb ette, et Eesti on rahvusriik. Igaüks, kes vannub jääda truuks meie põhiseaduslikule korrale, vannub ka seda, et seisab meie rahvusriigi eest. Kas me peame teesklema, et Sveti vanne on päris või Michali? Pigem tundub, et parteid, kes on seotud VEB Fondi ja hiiglasliku Vene rahapesuga, on seotud palju jõulisemate lubadustega hoopis teiste jõudude ees. Leian, et kui Svet ise tagasi ei astu või kui Michal teda valitsuses minema ei saada, tuleb Riigikogu saadikutel ta tagasi kutsuda. Ma tahan näha, kuidas kindlate kätega erakond kiidab enda häältega heaks putinisti istumise nende enda juhitud valitsuses. Nii palju siis sellest, mida ütles Martin Helme. Siin. Mida veel? No nii, ma arvan, et selleks enam-vähem esmakordseks ürituseks on piisavalt juba. Võts edasi. Ma arvan, et harjutamine teeb meistriks, nii et tuleb korrata. No nii, olgu, ma lõpetan selle ülekande, nii et nägemiseni.